That's right, it's time for the best of BGG. Let's get to it.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike.
I'm Dick.
We're the Brothers Smurf, and yes, it's time to talk about everything Board Game Geek. We got some Board Game Geek news, the hottest games of the month, a couple things that we really enjoyed on Board Game Geek, so let's hop right into the news. Big news in the BGG news front. The Geek Up store is opening in the EU, which has been long awaited. There's a lot of things to figure out, of course, with that, but they're going to be starting to sell some Geek Up bits in the EU, which is super duper exciting. They will also be returning to Spiele this year. So if you are going to be there and want to get some upgraded bits, like upgraded components for Lost Ruins of Arnak and Wormspan and Wingspan neoprene mats and more, you can go get all of those things. And we are now in the EU, baby.
A bit of Board Game Geek news is that if you don't know, there are designer diaries, actually at this point, pretty much constantly on Board Game Geek. And I actually think they're one of the coolest things that come out on Board Game Geek. This is where a designer will write kind of a really big, a lot of times very, very big blog post all about the design aspects of a game that they made. And so one of my more favorite ones recently was one that Matt Leacock did for Fate of the Fellowship, the kind of new Lord of the Rings Pandemic, because Pandemic is a game that got us into the hobby. We're massive Lord of the Rings fans, and I was so excited for this game. So getting to like hear all the design aspects of it was so freaking cool. And so I really, really love the designer diaries. Every time there's like an artist diary, which sometimes happen, I used to shout those out too. I really, really love this idea of like kind of getting into the head of the artists and the designers in our industry. I think it's fascinating. And so if you haven't read any of these, there's tons and tons out there. A lot of times for games that are very, very big, make sure to check them out. They're really cool. So that was a little bit of news, but you know, we're all here for the hottest games of the month. So let's go ahead and sit down and talk about those. Alrighty, it's time for the hottest games of the month. Let's go ahead and get to them.
So number 10 is going to be Ark Nova.
Yeah.
It's been around the Hotness for a long time.
It's usually like 10 or 9.
There is a crowdfunding for like a 3D component upgrade for your game that gives you like little enclosures and stuff and makes your game extra cool.
It does.
It did not need that anyway. Ark Nova has been so popular since it came out.
It's one of the most played games of the month. It's on BGA,
always.
so it's getting played constantly.
Yep.
People love it. Again, it's like number 3 on the Board Game Geek overall top 100.
Yep.
I mean, it's
people
done
love
very,
running
very well.
the zoo.
And yeah, and then there's this new kind of 3D version of it, which again looks really cool. But again, it's just kind of like a component upgrade. So you still need like the base game. It's not like a whole new one like the Castle Burgundy, like big crazy deluxe version, right? So yeah, it seems really, really cool. And I love Ark Nova. Mikey also loves Ark Nova. It's a very, very popular game. It's played all the time, and so it's usually around the hotness.
Number 9 has been around the hotness since it came out as well. This is Arks from Leader Games.
Again, somewhere between like 5 and 15.
Yeah,
Arks and Ark Nova are kind of always around there.
Yeah, Arks is one that, Leader Games, I think, inspires people who like really invest in their games and play it over and over. And with the expansion materials for Arks, you can kind of make it a little campaign. So this has just been a game that people have really dug. You are kind of spacefaring factions, and you are attacking each other, blowing each other up, taxing planets for resources, and kind of using trick-taking as your action selection mechanism, all in order to kind of declare and then score ambition. So each round, the only way to score points is if a certain ambition is declared, which might require you to have the most ships in your kind of little trophies or have a certain type of resource and stuff. You want to be the clear winner of any of those ambitions to score your points in a race to get to the point threshold, which changes for player count and stuff. So yeah, it's like one of those ones where like if you think you have an edge in a certain area, you want to make sure that ambition scores, because if it doesn't score, you get nothing for it. And you are running around, blowing each other up, chucking dice, and doing all that good fun stuff. Next up is SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
Another game that's kind of hovers around this a lot.
It's had a meteoric rise up the rankings.
It really has. Me, God, it's in the top 30 or 40 on BGG,
that's
overall
wild.
top 100, which is nuts for a
game that's
like,
barely a year old.
Not even a year old, because it's an
Essen released last year. This is a game that's going to have an expansion at Essen this year, which kind of gives you like a jump start to the game, asymmetric abilities, more aliens. And speaking of aliens, you are looking up the night sky in this game.
Yeah.
And you are sending out probes to different planets, and you're looking for
essentially alien
signs
evidence.
of life.
Yeah.
And in this game, you will get to find signs of life. And you will reveal 2 aliens through the course of play that'll all open up kind of unique things they do, unique cards they have, different ways they score, and release just a big old point salad.
Yeah.
Big old space-sized point salad game.
It really is. Lots of different stuff going on.
You can get points so many ways.
You sure can. It's very, very fun. I like SETI a lot. If this ever hits BGA, it's going to be over because then people get to play it even more than they do.
Let's do it.
I would assume it's coming, but who knows? But with that expansion, it's going to make it, unless the expansion somehow is bad, which I doubt.
That's not going to be.
I don't think it's going to hurt the game at all. And so, yeah, I really like SETI. And yeah, it has absolutely rocketed up the top 100.
Next up is Kingdoms Forlorn. Dragons, devils, and kings.
And kings. That's a lot of things.
It is.
Dragons, devils, and kings. Man, could have gone, I don't know, dragons, devils.
So
I want alliteration in there, but it's not.
I see.
That's fine.
Dragons, devils, and dwarves could have been.
Yeah,
Dwarf kings.
Maybe dwarf kings.
Anyway, this is a big old, they call it solo operative. It's cooperative or soloable.
Which a lot of these kind of big games are, yeah.
Campaign game, but this game, which we've seen more of with these kind of big narrative-driven games where there are so many ways to play the game. So again, we mentioned you can play it solo, cooperative. You can play it campaign mode where there's the story with branching storylines, or there's like kind of like a roguelite situation where you can do kind of unscripted epic hunts and things.
Little runs and stuff,
You can customize your character, your knight. You can take your knight and then like go play in someone else's campaign and just sort of be a character that pops into the world for a while, does some stuff, and then you pop back out.
Yeah.
You can just all play with your characters, even if they're at different levels. I don't know mechanically how that happens. But it's all kind of designed to be able to be played in a million different ways and have a ton of content, which I think is really cool.
It's cool,
I kind of dig that.
If it works well. But it's like there's a lot of these games I feel like where it's like
the idea that I bring my character over to your game night sounds really neat.
It seems cool, but it's like you're like, oh, you can play cooperative, you can play solo, you can play competitive, you can play teams. There's all these things where it's like, man, if you can pull that off well.
Very cool.
It makes, especially if these games are really big, it makes them more easy to get to the table, right? Because you can get to the table in more circumstances than just like, oh, this is just a big cooperative game.
I think it's pretty important in games that are that big. Yeah,
right.
That's a barrier, right?
So it's very, very cool if they can pull it off. And so and I do like the fact that you can kind of like carry your character over. You can play different levels and stuff like that. That is, again, makes it easier to get the game played.
All right, next up is going to be Star Wars: The Battle of Hoth. This is a
hit people's hands, I think.
A Memoir 44 game.
Yeah.
Which is based on Command and Colors, right?
Yep,
I got my stuff straight.
I believe so.
So this takes that kind of system and playing cards to activate and order troops around and do attacks and stuff, but it sets it on the famous Battle of Hoth, where you have the Empire coming in with their AT-ATs and stuff, and you have the snow speeders and the rebellion
army
base.
of Tauntauns,
And you are, it's just a bunch of them. And you are battling it out, and you can play in kind of a little mini campaign. Like a Memoir 44, there are going to be, different scenarios and stuff, and there's different scenarios in this one, but it's all set in the Star Wars verse, man.
Yeah,
we just got this one, I haven't played it. There is a game night on it, which you should go watch. I'm super fired up to play it, though, because I'm like, I played Memoir 44 a little bit and enjoy it and stuff, but like, if I can play on Hoth, I'm playing on Hoth.
Yeah, that's a real talk, though. Yeah, it seems very cool.
Next up is going to be Feya's Swamp.
Yeah, you kind of turned me on to this one. Man. Yeah, Mike is super excited. This is made by the person who made Gaia Project and like Terra Mystica.
Yes.
And that alone,
like, is from that world. So.
Cool, I'm down.
Yeah, so this is a game where you are all in this swamp, which is the main board, and you are kind of moving around on your ships, placing settlements out to kind of create these groups that are on these islands. You're putting down, I think, sanctuaries or basically kind of places of worship. You're fishing and trying to like deliver fish to your settlements and stuff to score points and kind of extract money. And it has that kind of Gaia Project thing where you have 4 areas where you can take settlements. And as you take settlements off of a certain area, you're revealing kind of more and stronger actions and becoming more efficient in a certain area of the game. So one track might give you like a 3rd ship and allow you to move around more. Another one might give you a better fishing ability. So for your actions, you're getting more out of them to try to become as efficient as possible. I really like that. And Eric Martin here on Board Game Geek did a kind of deep dive on Feya Swamp. They got to try it a little bit and talking about all the different ways you can kind of go about scoring the sort of interconnectivity of the swamp and the kind of player interaction all seems super interesting. Cool. I like the art and the look a lot of it.
It looks really cool too.
I really can't wait to hopefully try this maybe at BGG Con in the fall or something. That'd be cool. Really cool. So looks very neat, and check out Eric's post if you want to learn more.
Something that's been here for a couple months now is Vantage.
Yes, it's now out.
So yeah, it is now out for a little bit now. And people are playing it. Again, there's tons and tons of reviews coming out on BGG. People are asking questions. People are doing a whole bunch of different stuff. Yeah, Vantage is a new game by Stonemaier Games and Jamey Stegmaier, where, again, you are looking at, you're kind of crash landed on this alien planet.
Yep.
And you are only ever seeing things from your vantage point, hence the term Vantage.
Yep.
And there's a whole bunch of stuff in this game and a whole bunch of things that you can see, but again, it's kind of always from your point of view, where you're kind of telling your teammates stuff like this is what I can see around me. This is what's here. This is what's here. This is what's here.
Yeah, based on the art of your card, which the other players can't see.
Can't see exactly.
You can describe anything, but yeah.
Yeah, which is a really cool idea. I know there's just like tons and tons and tons of stuff, and Jamey's basically said like whatever you can think of, it's already in the game. Like, it's just, there's so much stuff to explore and discover.
I was like
stuff.
playing around with it a little bit, and there's like 1,500 cards. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff,
nuts.
man.
It's insane just how much is out there.
But it's kind of like a story game where you're going to be, depending on where you are, choosing certain actions to take, which will lead you to different books. And give you a little bit of a passage from the book, which might give you, benefits or things that hurt you. They might open up new areas to go discover and stuff, and you'll always have a mission you're working on. It might be, earn money some way, or visit animals and things, and that will kind of shape maybe the choices you make. But this really is kind of like a big sandbox to play around in and explore in, and even to the point where if you lost, you could just choose to be like, no, we didn't, and kind of survive a little longer.
It's your game, why not?
If you want to explore, and at the in the rulebook it was saying if you feel like, hey, okay, we lost or the scenario's now over, but we feel content with the story, just let it be over. If you really want to keep going, keep going. And I kind of dig that that's sort of the
vibe. Yeah.
The vibe is just make this, just have fun exploring this world.
Yeah.
So that is Vantage.
Next up is going to be Orloj, the astronomical clock.
The Prague astronomical clock.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm excited.
If you want to make us excited about a game, have a beautiful cover and have a game that just looks like a dry old Euro, but make it very
pretty. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this game is about the Prague astronomical clock, which is considered to be the most complicated clock to read. There's a whole bunch of videos and stuff on it. It's very fast, but it's a real thing.
Yeah, and it's a real thing, and a really amazing piece of medieval technology that's
exactly.
still used
of engineering
today.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes. So in the game, you're building this thing.
Yes, exactly. And I'm just I don't care. Yeah, don't care. Gonna get it. Gonna buy it immediately. Gonna play it the next day.
It's so pretty, man.
My gosh.
Yeah, this one you're putting workers onto the clock kind of face itself and taking actions. You're kind of studying the cosmos around you, and so discovering the zodiac and things like that, and gathering a greater understanding of what's around you, and then also actually constructing this clock in a hopes, I think, to score as much harmony as possible. So you're kind of all working towards something, but hoping to have the best kind of contributions to this. This is something that thematically seems really cool. It seems like such an Essen release kind of game.
Yeah, it sure does.
In a good way.
And I'm so down.
I can't wait to try it, man. It looks so pretty.
Next up is going to be Fate of the Fellowship. This Lord of the Rings Fate of the Fellowship, which is the Lord of the Rings Pandemic. I talked about it very briefly when I talked about the designer diaries. That is really, really cool. Yeah, this game is getting played all over the place. People are getting to discover this game. There's tons and tons of videos about this game. People are at home playing it. It's on BGA, so people can play it there. This game is really, really fun. I like it a lot. There's actually, a lot of times we'll go through, like, there's an area of BG called session reports. People kind of like will write up a session report, just like, hey, this is what happened in this game. A lot of times, very often it's war games, because that's where like kind of beat by beat session reports can happen. But there's a whole bunch out there for like Fate of the Fellowship right now, because you're kind of telling this story as you're going through, and very often these come down to like the wire, and very much our games have usually come down to that too, where we still haven't won this game.
No.
Oh, Matt, tell us your ways, Matt. I don't know what's going on. But it's one of the things, but you always are very, very close. Yes. And so it's like that. With
a co-op game like that, you want it to be hard.
I want to lose more than often than I win, personally. So it's really, really fun. It's the least like pandemic-y of the pandemic system games, which is why it's not called Lord of the Rings Pandemic. It's a pandemic system game.
Yeah.
Because there's those feelings in there, but it is a very different thing. But nonetheless, we really, really love this game. We like it a lot. There's also a game night for you can watch that as well.
Check it out.
It's just a blast. The cover of this one
is noise.
Oh,
this is Brass Pittsburgh, which when I first saw, was like, it's not April. What are we doing? Why are we making a joke about this? But it's real. Brass Pittsburgh is a thing.
Yeah.
They're doing a new brass. This is designed by Gavin Brown and Martin Wallace.
Yeah, so it's a co-design. Brass Birmingham being the #1 game on BGG.
Yeah, so that worked out for them before. It probably will again. This time, you are in Pittsburgh in the 19th century in the Steel Belt. And there's not a ton of information, but they've said that it'll offer some new mechanisms while having the kind of core interactions and DNA of brass. But now you'll be building out railways, building out pipelines, refining oil and stuff. So I am really excited for a game like this, because it'll be, I hadn't really thought about something that's like, just taking brass, like that kind of concept, when there was this kind of thing happening all over the world, and then showing different areas and how certain things may have changed. And so Pittsburgh is the next location.
Yeah, it makes me curious if they're gonna start doing kind of a Great Western Trail where it's like where you're like
maybe
because brass Lancashire, which is the original brass, and now it's brass Birmingham, which are similar but have some different mechanics like that. And now
I feel like this will probably be the same thing, where there's about the same percentage that's different from the other two.
And so like, I'm down. Like, why not? Like, right? It's like, if it's different enough where it kind of warrants there being another game.
Here's the thing, I'm gonna find out how.
For sure.
And I'm gonna play
you and many other people, I think.
Baby.
Yeah, when this cover got dropped by Mr. Cuttington, everyone was just like,
it's a great cover. But I was like, is this real?
Yeah,
like,
it's really.
I wasn't expecting to see Pittsburgh after the word brass.
Sure wasn't.
But sure enough.
Nonetheless, that is the 10 hottest games over the month. Again, games that were kind of all over the hotness. People were talking about them. So at the very end of this, we always talk about the most played games of the month. If you log your games on BG, it will add to this list.
So do that.
It's a lot of the usual suspects here. And so number 10 is going to be Forest Shuffle, which has 8,076.
Nice.
Far Away has 8,151. Castle Combo has 8,572. Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game has 9,170.
Still
so that's still
big numbers, man.
Played quite a bit. Sky Team, which is pretty much always here, 9,174. Sea Salt and Paper, 9,769. Harmonies at 10,321.
Wow.
Arc Nova, 11,106. Still getting played a crazy amount. Bomb Busters, which won the Spiele des Jahres.
Yeah.
18,415.
Wow.
But Flip 7 has 20,252, which is, again, so much. So many plays. And that's a game you can play over and over and over again. But it's kind of crazy that Bomb Busters is that close. We're going to show just how much the Spiele des Jahres winner sells a ton of games, and then they're immediately going to play it a bunch, right?
Yeah.
And so,
not one as many missions, so you're really racking up a lot of plays that way. Man. Yeah, Flip 7's still doing it, man. My Murph pick is going to be kind of a really inside baseball post about getting licensing done for the game The Game Makers from Béziers, which is a game about making board games. So we're like 4 layers of meta already. And this post is all about the licensing because for this game, the games you are making are real life board games. So you have, you know, your Blood Rages and stuff like that. So they are all real board games that fit into categories like war games, cooperative games, set collection, engine building, and things like that. And you are all kind of working simultaneously, taking actions with your forklifts to gather components, which all have multiple uses, to create these board games to fill out your board game shelves, which are going to have various scoring and stuff like that. So it's super duper cool that you are building real life board games via the cards you're completing, the contracts, but you can't just go and use, you know, images and stuff from other people's things without their permission. So this is a post all about getting the licensing to use real board games, which for Béziers was really kind of central in them greenlighting the project as a whole. So it's a nice deep dive. You get to see kind of, you know, the spreadsheets and all the things that kind of go into something that is complicated like licensing. And I really thought that it's kind of cool that in a game that's about manufacturing and kind of peeling the curtain back on that, there was even more of that going on with talking about like, okay, how did we actually get this game made about making games? The game about making games, and how do we make the game about making the games? It just was very enjoyable.
My Murph pick is going to be a cake. Hear me out. It's a cake. It's a Carcassonne cake. It's by Hairless Hound is the one who posted this. Their partner made them this for their birthday. And it's funny because they're like, the lighting is bad in this picture because it was taken inside a tent. There's so many questions going on in this whole thing. But nonetheless, I feel like a lot of times with my Murph picks, I just kind of pick something about the BGG users that I think is very wonderful. And one of my favorite things about it is how into board games people get. I love when they create like their own kind of bling for board games, creating inserts, 3D printed stuff, and including things like cake. I love the fact that there's people out there like me who love board games so much that their partner would be like, I need to get them a Carcassonne cake. I need to make this for them. And I think it's incredible. This cake also looks super good. It looks so much like a Carcassonne board. It's incredible. I think this is so cool. I love stuff like this. It's just my constant kind of love letter to like how passionate board gamers are and how they show their passions on places like Board Game Geek. I think it's wonderful. And this is a great example. Look at that cake inside a tent. Why are you inside a tent? I'm confused, but there's a cake there and I'm down. Did you make the cake in the tent?
And as always, we like to end with our personal favorite game we played this month, whether it's new to us, or older. My pick is going to be a game that you showed me, which is based on a video game called Wilmot's Warehouse. This is a memory game. There's been a lot of memory games lately, I feel like.
Memory games, yeah.
This is a game where you are going to be putting out tiles into what is kind of making up your warehouse area. And each tile is going to have, you know, it's going to be representative of something, but they're all kind of semi-abstracted, you know, things that just kind of like look like familiar items and such. And what's going to happen is after you look at a tile and everyone on the team gets a chance to look at it, you're going to kind of decide what that represents in the sort of story that you are creating.
Ever-growing tale that you're kind of creating.
Yeah, and it's going to be important that you come up with like a sort of a story for this whole thing because that tile is going to get put face down. And then you're going to look at a new tile and add that somewhere in your grid, and you're going to have to find things that connect these items together mentally in a way so that you can eventually, when you have 35 of these tiles, you can correctly identify all of them while they are still face down. And so we played a game of this where the first thing we got looked kind of like a donut. It was like a little donut, like ring looking thing. So we're like, okay, it's a donut.
It's a donut. Great.
Next thing we got was something that looks sort of like a chef's hat. We're like, okay, well that's the person that makes the donuts. So we'll put them next to the donut because they're making the donuts. And it kind of grew from there where we had we had the fryer, we had the manager who was working the fryer, we had an axe that cut the donuts. We had all sorts of different types of donuts.
We had this whole sleep routine for the chef.
A sleep routine for the chef who had crazy hair. And it just becomes this kind of bonkers story, but it's all in service of remembering where everything is placed. And it works so well. The story that you craft is just so fun and funny. And then it feels like a magic trick when you inevitably put it back together, hopefully correctly, which we totally did. I was blown away by just how fun and simple it was. Another memory game that works really well. It is really, really fantastic.
It really is. I was blown away at how much I enjoyed it. I'm going to choose an older game that I played for the first time recently, and that's Acquire.
Nick's getting after a classic.
Oh man, it was so good. It was, this is a game from, it just had its 60th anniversary, so it's from the 60s.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, the 60th anniversary was by Renegade Games. They kind of made a big, cool version of it. But we actually played a version from the 60s or 70s. We played with our good friend Paula Deming, who is also grown to really love this game. And she had a copy from her grandparents that they had like in their closet, and she took it home, and so we played on that copy. This is a game where you are
Gloomhaven's based off
basically, it's about acquiring hotels and merging them, which is basically what Gloomhaven's about.
That's exactly.
So you're getting these tiles that will have a grid space on them, so it'll be like 1A, 1B, 1C, all the way over to like 12A, 12B. Yes, and then basically whenever you put two plots next to each other, you create a hotel. And then if two hotels ever touch each other, they merge, and the bigger hotel eats the smaller one. And then basically, you're also, at the end of your turn, you can buy stocks and any hotels that are out on the board. And so when a hotel eats another one, basically whoever has the most of the stock of the hotel that's getting acquired, you will get a payout for that, and then you can then sell your stocks of the size of that hotel. You'll get a certain amount of money. And then basically you're going through and building out hotels, getting stocks, merging them. Eventually one or two hotels will start getting seriously massive. They kind of just keep eating everything on the board. And you're basically trying to have the most money, trying to get stocks, trying to sell off those stocks, have majorities in these hotels. It was outstanding. There's a reason why this game has been around for so long, and we were playing, I was like, man, this is really good. And again, it's a Sid Saxon game, old school, really, really good. And I want to show Mike it because I think you would also enjoy it quite a lot. So let's, an older game for me, which was Acquire, and the newer game, which is Wilmot's Warehouse. So, going old and new. Nonetheless, let us know your favorite game down in the comments below.
Please do.
And I think that's going to be it, eh?
That's going to be it, everyone. We'll see y'all next month.
Bye.